Hey everybody, Alex here, and I've got rabbits getting through my fence. I put this fence up last year, and it's really effective at keeping out larger animals, deer, woodchucks, things like that. But rabbits are getting through, in particular juvenile rabbits. And so I want to show you what my solution to this problem is. Now, I am lazy and I am cheap, so I want a solution that works, but is pretty easy and isn't going to break the bank. So to fix this problem, all you really need is a little bit of thin gauge wire and a little bit of time. So this is the wire mesh that my fence is made out of. The gaps in the wire fence are about 1.5 inches by maybe 3 inches here. That is apparently a little bit too big to keep juvenile rabbits out. And so my solution here is really to cut this gap in half diagonally. And I'll show you how I do this, but you can see a couple of windows that I've already cut in half here. This is wire that I've strung diagonally from one corner of that gap to the other and then back up. So I'm making a zigzag here. And I'm going to show you how to twist and turn this wire in such a way that you can cut all of these windows in half and keep it relatively secure so it doesn't get loose or want to fall off. So the strategy is easily scalable. If you can do it for one row, you can do it for the next week. You can even do it for the third if you want. Okay, so I'm going to use about 15 feet of wire at a time here. If I use much more, then it's going to get kinked really easily and the job will go a lot slower. So I've got the end of my wire here. Here's my little spool of about 15 feet. All that I'm going to start off by doing is just anchoring the wire around one corner. Just as long as it's kind of tied off, is sort of looped pretty well. I'll take maybe 1.5 inches of wire at an end. I'm just going to wrap that around so it's nice and secure. Go. And then I'll also take a pair of pliers, just give that a really nice tug so that it's good and tight. And then I'm going to straighten out my wire. So this is a big spool of wire, but I'm actually going to walk away from here and I'm going to get it all nice and straightened out. All right, so I've got my wire nice and anchored off at its starting point, and I'm going to really carefully unspool my my wire here. You really don't want it to get kinked, so I'm really going to take my time here. If you do catch any kinks while you're going, stop and unkink them. Smooth them out with your pliers or your hands just so that you don't have kinks to work with. So I'm just going to come back to where I started, walk along and smooth that wire out as straight as I can get it. So I'm going to cut that about there. It's about 15 feet. So here's the fun part. I've got my wire anchored off right here, and I need to create a zigzag pattern. And each zigzag needs to be able to anchor that wire in place. And I'm going to show you how to do that really easily. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this wire up, and I'm going to bring it over this next wire and through the back. And I'm going to pull it through this next window up here, this next opening. So now I've got the slack wire over here, and I'm pulling this way, so it's a little hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm pulling on this wire while this one down here is anchored. So now I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to pull the whole wire through that gap. So now I'm going to come back here, and now this actually has to go back and through this corner. And so I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to go down through this window, bring it up like that with my finger, come through here, this next window, grab from over here, and then pull it again. And I'm pulling the whole length through every time that I do this. And once in a while, what I do is I give this little corner a little snug just up against the next corner so that things are nice and tight. So I'll do this kind of quickly, bring that through, all the way through, and then down through the bottom, and then through the next one. It's a little like stitching, just kind of going up and down through the back. So you can get to the point where it only takes you, 3 to 5 seconds for each little window. Alright, so my wire coming down through the back, all the way up. Snug it, bring it up through the back. Oh, I got a kink right here, right? If that happens, you have to stop everything and get that unkinked. Make sure that that's smoothed out, otherwise it's going to cause you problems. Up, through the back. Down, through the bottom and back. So I'm at this point now at the end of my 15 feet of wire where I've zigged and zagged. I'm at the point where I can't complete another turn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to anchor this off at the end a little bit like I did at the beginning. I'm just going to twist that around, and I'm going to use my pliers every couple of turns just to really snug that up really good. Get that nice and secured. If you want, you can just cut off the last little bit. So there's one 15 foot of wire, and I'm just going to go through basically my whole entire fence and just do the bottom level and then probably the second level. That's been pretty effective at keeping the bunnies out. The next wire that I'm going to begin is actually, I'm not going to start here because I already have all this stuff wound up around here. I'm actually going to start down there, and then I'll tie it off and zig up, and then zig down, then up and down, just like that little pattern that I showed you. And this is pretty effective at keeping my little bunny friends out. So if you've got rabbits getting through your fence, and assuming you don't want rabbits getting through your fence, really all you need to close off those spaces is a little bit of wire and follow that zigzag pattern that I showed you. So if you're dealing with bunnies, hope that's useful for you.